the hell is happening here? Here we go.
Yeah, I see it loading.
And there we are. We're in.
Hey.
We're on. Beautiful day.
Yeah, actually it is quite sunny today. Beat some of the cloudy weather we've been having. Just raining and all that.
How was your Halloween?
Ooh, loaded question. Discovered that a buddy of mine passed, which was probably fitting for Halloween because he was into that sort of thing. But yeah, bad reaction to medication. Not an overdose, just a negative reaction.
My condolences.
Thank you, appreciate that. But yeah, good dude. Oh man, I forget how long though, but let's say 20 years ago, he was telling me he was riding a bicycle, showing off, to a girl he was trying to impress, and wound up being a quadriplegic, right? Is that the right one? Yeah.
A regular bicycle or
yeah,
a
like a pedal your bicycle, like a mountain bicycle. Oh yeah, definitely. He was hardcore. He was into stuff I never would have tried. But yeah. But anyway, for his part, he would always say, "That's why you don't show off. It bites in the ass."
I see.
Just a little Jack's celebration, although I don't do it as straight as he did, but
it's a little tribute to
close enough.
Well, you know what's funny, and I don't mean funny as in haha, but I mean.
Gotcha. Moving on.
No, we're actually not. We're staying on this subject.
Okay.
Do you know what today is?
November 1st.
Today, technically, for some religious people, it's All Saints Day, which is the celebration of all saints who have gone to heaven, and not just, and including the ones who aren't recognized with their own festival.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, he definitely did not have much faith in much. Himself, I suppose. Like, I suppose if you were, I kind of think he was a true atheist. Me, I just not really into man's version of religion.
So you would consider yourself agnostic?
I don't know. It's like they, over the centuries, in my opinion, pick and choose what they want, amend it to fit the needs of the day. And, that's really not what it is. It's not what it's about. And to be honest, I really don't think there's a God that would want that anyway. It just doesn't make a lot of sense how a God would have oppression in his, for his followers, and to kiss his ass for the rest of eternity. That doesn't make sense. I wouldn't want it if I was a God. How fucking boring would that be?
Let me see if we can lighten the mood a little bit.
Sorry, what's Halloween?
To go from that to, hey, did you hear about Paul Pelosi getting his brains beat in with a hammer?
Man. Yeah. Oh, and all the conspiracy bullshit that's getting wrapped up in it, and the people that are trying to whitewash it again, saying that it wasn't
what Elon Musk did?
And did not too, because he deleted it, if I'm not mistaken, or tried to. Dude.
He backed a conspiracy theory that Paul Pelosi was attacked because of a bad deal between him and some gay male escort.
The dude confessed, and it was planned. It was totally planned. It was not random, which is the Fox narrative, that it was a random act. Some dude on drugs who just went crazy and decided, hey, why not do this dude?
Right. Because, all those random acts start off with, hey, where's Nancy?
Yeah, where's Nancy? Yeah, right. Random.
Just hoping he found somebody who would name Nancy in a random house.
Right. Sorry, I'm just hearing shit behind me. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. That was just, I haven't heard a whole bunch of that yet, but I know that he confessed, at least per a headline I saw from a reputable place anyway.
He did confess. Mm-hmm. He's facing federal charges.
Oh, yeah, several. And state charges now, too.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I knew about the
this
federal.
Morning I saw that.
He won't give his motive, but he did confess that part of his plan was to stay there and interrogate Nancy until she said yes, even if it came to him breaking her kneecaps.
Or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
No, this is what he said.
Oh,
Said
that's what he
planned-
said. I haven't
Yeah.
heard that. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, no, he put in that he
Wow,
was
dude.
prepared to stay there the long term, to basically
Right,
put
because he came prepared. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
and intended to break her kneecaps if she didn't confess.
I don't think he realized she was on the other side of the country at the time.
No, and see, this brings me to the title of our show. The Capitol Police have put out that they need more resources
Mhm.
to prevent things like this from happening. Now, if that was me, if that was you, would they give a shit? No. So why are we spending money to give security to one person when there's a bunch of people every day getting carjacked, hijacked, skyjacked?
Well,
You
no,
name it.
that's the Speaker of the House.
I don't give a
Protect-
shit.
I do.
He's nobody.
Oh, the husband? No, but he's
Yeah.
he's leverage. Where you can manipulate, the wheels of justice or legislation or whatever. Yeah, they should be in secure facilities until they're at least-
Okay. Consider me naive for a second.
Oh, okay.
But aren't you also leverage?
No.
If I came in and I attacked your family,
Mhm.
held you hostage, and put it out on the air that unless Speaker Pelosi comes to talk to me directly, I'm going to kill the entire family.
Then I would be dead because that wouldn't happen. Would not
wouldn't?
happen. No. And Pelosi would never come and talk to you by video, by phone, by any other means. It would not happen. They wouldn't capitulate, and nor would I want them to. Fuck him. Hey.
I don't see why. I mean, in my opinion, no person is more important than anybody else. If you're willing to negotiate
it's
for your
not.
husband, then you better be willing to go negotiate for me.
It's not the person you're protecting. It's the position you're protecting. It's anyone in that position gets that level of protection. Anyone. You, the president, deserves that level of protection. People who are in seats of power that represent the people they're always going to be targets. That's what they're part of their position, is they're always going to have a target. That's loaded. If you want to take it and then give it back, that's cool. Yeah, go for it.
Well,
Definitely all the shit you've been doing. Thank you. But no, I mean, you have to think about it, because if we didn't have any of that protection, then they would be used against us all the time. It would never end.
But do you understand where I'm coming from? Can you understand that even though we're not related to the Speaker of the House, we can still be used as pawns?
I don't think that would ever happen. I think that they would.
I
Sorry,
think that
sucks to be you.
I hate to say this, but I really think that depending on the politician,
I don't want to test that theory with myself.
No, but I really think depending on the politician, for instance, and this is just a for instance, this will never happen, not from me, but if I were to go into someone's home and take a family hostage and insist that unless Barack Obama comes here and speaks to me directly, bad things are going to happen to his family, I can guarantee the minute he hears that, he would make the trip voluntarily.
I just
not being forced to.
I don't think so.
He's the type of person who would.
Oh, maybe he would be, but I think our policy of not capitulating to terrorists would apply. Me personally, if I was that person that had a gun to my head, I'd say, fuck this asshole. Don't capitulate to him, because what's he going to want next? What's the next thing this motherfucker's going to want after you give him Obama? Okay, so is he going to give us away now, surrender and be... No. He's going to ask for freedom of some sort with us going with him. He's not just going to say, okay, well, here you go.
Wait, it depends on how radical. It depends on how radical he is. in my scenario, you ask for Obama. You ask Obama. He doesn't even have to come in. You just ask him through a phone outside. But at least he's there.
Yeah, but that
And you
would,
say,
you got to
listen,
think about it. That would be happening. You would be getting people taken off the street at random every 5 fucking minutes if that were the case. Because all you would need is a few of these radical assholes to start to take 300 families and say, we want Hillary Clinton delivered to this spot, or these 300 families are dead. You're saying it's going to be that easy for them to get that. That's easy. That's easy to do. Come on, there's 30 million of those fucking people. No. It would have happened by now to get their demands met. They would have done it already by now.
But see, here's the difference. The difference in scenarios is that one, in mine, the perpetrator wants answers from Obama. In the other scenario, they want to kill Hillary Clinton. You know that.
Right, but I want answers from corporate CEOs that take disgusting amounts of money from their people while, they're on corporate welfare. I just don't. I want answers for that. If I thought that I had the outside chance of accomplishing that goal in such a way to get that answer, I would consider it. But I there's no way it would. I know that it would be futile. Let's say I would even get anywhere near this person of my interest. Okay, now let's say I have this person and I don't see I don't see a scenario where the public gets the information that I'm seeking. I might get it. Maybe Obama talks to me, but will CNN get it? Will Fox News get it? Will on and on get it? No. Never see the light of day. I might get it before I'm executed in some fashion, or it just never sees the light of day in my criminal proceedings. So that purpose would be mute, more or less. I would not, that individual would not accomplish the goal of pulling a bullet to those people's heads by saying I want Obama to come in. It wouldn't satisfy that goal. The national news would not be a part of that.
I humbly disagree.
Really? You think that they would? You don't think that would have happened by now? If that
no,
was
I think no, because what it hinges on,
excuse me,
is it has to be done by an extreme radicalist.
We have them now. Right? They exist.
We do, and they're coming more and more prevalent.
Yes,
and just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean that it's not a possibility.
Then your scenario is coming. It's coming.
That's
coming. It's coming. Period.
That's what I'm worried about.
This November, I think is what's going to prove that, because if we have a red wave like some people are predicting, then that's going to give them a green light, saying that the way they think is good. It's in the what the people want. And all these crazy rhetoric things that the Republicans are putting out, like the Gomers and the Ghosters and all that, then that means that, and the Cruz, that if they're reelected, then and they win, what kind of message is that to you, card?
Right.
I know it sends a clear one to me that I need to fucking pull up that political sign I have in my fucking yard and hope no one took a picture of it. Because I'm supporting a local person. They asked permission to put a sign in my yard, and I said yes.
Well,
but now that might give me concern. I don't know what my neighbors feel, especially after the election. That's going to say a lot, and that's 7 days away.
True, which is why everyone needs to get out and vote.
Vote. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. Just vote.
Do it by mail, absentee ballot.
Yes.
At the polls, early voting. Day of. It doesn't matter. Just get out and make your voice heard.
The bumper sticker on my back of my buddy's truck is "Think while it's still legal."
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Not illegal yet, but I tell you what, it's getting there, because they really want a stupid population. You can see it with what they're trying to do with the book bans and burnings and bullshit like that.
Yes, because
especially where I live. Oh my fuck! Holy cow!
Well, one thing I've noticed is
They really
these
do have book
burn-
burnings.
with these book burnings
Mhm.
is the people who are doing the book burnings are calling the people who are not doing the book burnings fascists.
And demons, and yeah.
Yeah. And yet, isn't fascism and authoritarianism burning books and controlling your knowledge and your access to media?
Is that I might butcher the name, but Fahrenheit 457 or something like that was an old movie about
was it?
witch burning. They did a remake of it, a new one,
Huh?
but it was originally, I believe, black and white. And I might get the numbers wrong. If my wife was in here, she'd know it immediately. But anyway, anyone who hears me say Fahrenheit something, they know what it means.
451.
451. There we go. But yeah, there's a lot of book burning going on that. I remember seeing that as a young one. Yeah, it kind of scared me then. It scares me.
I mean,
more
look
than
at-
I understand it
look
better
at-
now.
Look at Germany in World War II.
Mhm.
They had
Yeah,
burning pits where they
they
just
were
burned
convinced
books
that the
and
Jews were out
records.
there to steal everything, and it was their fault. Yeah, but the population began to realize, I wouldn't say there was an uprising, but I know that there was a lot more arrests and things like that made as the war went on within the population. You had to hide more and more, especially your support for the halt of the war.
Well, now, with security, think of it this way: we have too many people in this country who don't know where their next meal is coming from.
I'm
Don't know where they're gonna-
knocking on that door myself.
Don't know where they're going to lay their head at night.
Hmm.
Right? There's no personal security anymore. There's no.
Yeah.
The days of helping out a stranger are pretty much gone.
It's getting used
Um,
against me, as I'm finding out.
I know years ago when I was young, we lived in East Greenbush and we had a nice house. We were well to do. We weren't rich, but we were well off. And we had 7 kids in the family. I think at that time we might have had 5 or 6.
We have
but-
7.
What? Oh, at the end of the day we had 7, but at one point, you had 5, you had 4.
Mm.
I think at this point
Been
we
to
had
your
like-
house a few times. You
think
you
we
were a
had-
family of Italians, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct. And I think there were 5 or 6 of us at the time. My
remember-
mother
Smells of your kitchen.
met a homeless family
Mm.
on the streets. And instead of giving her, a couple bucks or a bag of food,
She cooked for them?
no, she brought him in and let him live with us.
Oh, wow. How'd that work
Let him
out?
live with us it went fine. Let him live with us
I was hoping
for
that story.
quite a few months until they get back up on their feet again.
That's cool, dude.
But try and find somebody to do that now. We're not talking.
did.
We're not even talking one homeless
There's
person.
someone I
We're talking
knew,
about
though. It was someone I
but
knew.
we're talking about an entire homeless family.
Yeah.
An
That's
entire
awesome, man.
homeless family. A
No,
mother,
that's
a father, and
That's
I
the
think
right
there were
thing to
4
do.
kids.
Hmm. It's because it's the
You know,
right
we-
thing to do.
But you won't see that now. There's
Less
no
of it anyway.
relying on anyone but yourself.
And we're not
know-
designed that way. We're designed to
No.
rely on each other. We're that type of species. We're not. We don't do good apart. We do better together.
True. Very true. Very true.
And if you
And-
think
and-
about it, like in my community here, I keep looking at my subdivision, and it's a few empty lots because they didn't fit the shape of any particular home, so they just stayed empty. But what a great place for a communal garden. There's 2 or 3 of those places that are available that are just empty land. That
Right.
if we had, water utilities and electric utilities minimally, we could grow food for the entire community, no problem. And that should be something that should be, I don't know, free for us, where we should be able to get a grant of some sort to build it all. I mean, we'd have to maintain it, of course, but just to get it up and running, there should be money available for that, because it takes stress off of the groceries at the store. It takes the stress off that supply chain. Because we're going to have issues this year with groceries. You're going to see bread, eggs, milk, all those kinds of things start to skyrocket if you haven't yet. Um, Especially when 50 million chickens are slaughtered because of bird flu, you know? So that's going to make the fucking price go crazy. And it's already starting to go up. But anyway, we need programs like that. Incentives for more people to put solar power on their roofs to take pressure off these overtaxed energy grids, at least during the high points of the day. When the energy's at peak, that means the power plants can shut down a little bit more because the homes are generating enough energy to take care of it locally. And it really does help to put a big stress off the energy grid. And at night when people are home, you can return a lot of the energy back without a huge cost because the energy companies have been saving some of that energy throughout the day. We need more of that.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot more homes. Like I was the second house in here with solar power. Now there's probably 6, 7 total in my neighborhood that have solar power. I drive around locally in my very close vicinity, and just from the road, I can see more and more homes with solar energy like I do. It's a start. It's something. We got to have something. But grid tie, I think, is the best way to help the larger industry. But a battery is a good backup plan. So when the grid goes down and doesn't have a battery to put back, I can still juice. I wonder if I could do both. I wonder if I can be on the grid and have batteries. Interesting. I can look at that.
Well, you're gonna have a problem with rain barrels
No,
and shit.
I would sell back the energy, and then not sell it back and be on my own batteries at night. That would be good. Because I'd always have excess energy on a sunny day.
Well, according to reports today, the Halloween weekend, violent crimes went up 45%.
Oh, wow.
45% on
Went
Halloween
up?
as compared to this time last year.
Well, last year was COVID. People were home.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah.
But
That might not be
still.
a stable statistic because of what happened then.
But still, I mean,
Yeah. It's
we
going
talked
back
about
to
this.
normal.
We talked about this yesterday that we didn't have to worry about this shit when we were kids.
No, we probably should have, but we chose not to let it run and guide our lives.
No, it's not that we should have, because there weren't as many cases.
No, but I looked
back
over
then
my
as there are
stuff.
now.
When I got an apple at home, I cut it in half and I looked. If I was whatever, she did the
Yeah, but I'm
smart
talking
thing.
about violent crimes.
Well, yeah, okay. I know I'm getting off the subject. I'm thinking about Halloween yesterday, but
I'm
yeah,
talking
no,
about
violent.
violent crimes during Halloween. We didn't have to worry about that.
No,
We
you're
didn't
right.
have to worry about having a party at our house and somebody coming in and start shooting up the
But
crowd.
usually people were in larger groups too. I guess that should be a defensive. But why is that true this year? I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because people
one of
are
the
more
things that happened
cautious
this
with the
weekend.
trunk or treat. They only go Halloween and during the day, not at night. I had no one last night. My dog
No
barked
one?
like twice. I think my dog barked twice. I had my lights off because I didn't get candy. I came home because of the news I got. I wasn't into it then. I probably should have, but anyway, it would have meant that I had a lot of candy to eat because not a lot of people were driving by, or walking by for that matter. My neighbors even got in. They never went out either. I could tell that they had gone out with their kid somewhere else. But their kid is getting older now that I think about it too. She's probably, I've been in here 12 years, so she's close to that old.
Kansas City had 7 shot, 1 dead last night. Chicago in a drive-by, 14 shot, including 3 children. Another city had shootings that kill 1, injure about 20. Another teen dead after shooting at a Halloween house party. So yeah, it you know,
Hey, I just something just popped in my head, so let me mention it if I might. It's kind
sure.
of on our original subject of security. What about
Mhm.
our right to life security? Everybody's. Why don't we have a right to a certain level of of I don't know, functionality where we are at the point where we can still wipe our own ass and feed ourselves? When do we get a little bit of that dignity to keep for ourselves and not sell to our employers? When, at what level do we get to keep something for ourselves when we're not
Well,
used up and wasted?
well, are you talking about quality of life,
Yeah, that too. All
or are
of it.
you, or are you talking about? Um, well, I guess it would be a quality of life as to. Oh no, I know what it is.
Oh,
Are you?
dignity and respect for
Well,
oneself.
are you referring to the difference between living and surviving?
Yes. Surviving where you're counting on others because you cannot in any way do it yourself. You
Right.
cannot wipe your ass. You cannot feed yourself. You cannot cook. You cannot drive. You're non-functional, meaning you're in essence bed, chair, or otherwise ridden to a device. You're no longer self-motivated. You don't have locomotion anymore, if that makes sense. And at what point, if I know, like today, right now, I'm at a position where I can still function. I'm a little uncomfortable here and there, whatever. I have levels that I can tolerate and so on. But at what point do I get to? Is that a point where it's mine? Where any further damage I do is based on decisions I make for my own well-being, not because my boss says, "Hey, I need you to do that." And I know that, man, if I do that, I'm going to regret that, you know, where it's going to cause me more, where I'm not going to be able to, where it's going to ruin me for the rest of my life if I do that. Where, my ability to get out from a chair or get out from a bed is going to be compromised if I continue to do whatever it is the tasks are from my employer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where is what's left for me as a human being, where I deserve a little bit of peace and a little bit of freedom to enjoy without having to get up at a set time, that alarm clock ringing. you know when does my freedom really kick in? Because we're not free if we're tied to an employer. If you're tied to an employer, you are definitely not free. I get it. I mean, I get that I need to work and make money and whatever. But at what point do we draw the line at, okay, this person we've used as much as we can of, and the fair thing, right thing to do is let them enjoy the little bits of their life that are left? When is it mine?
Right.
You know?
Well, we have to have systems
Mm.
in place. You have to have systems in place to, and I hate to say this is almost like the death panels that the Republicans were talking about during
Mm.
Obamacare.
True, but that's why I bought a supplemental policy too, for that
Well,
insurance
hold
policy.
on
I
a
knew
second.
I'd get hurt.
I don't mean that we should have death panels. I mean that there should
Mm.
be,
Definitely
you
not.
know how we have doctors across borders?
Mm.
We should have something like that for this country. A specific team in each state or city or county
And whatnot.
that
Yeah.
that helps those that can't help themselves, that don't have the finances to help themselves, that don't
Well,
have the
right. I understand that part, but what if, like in my situation, my doctor agreed that any further surgery would destroy my life as I know it.
right.
I would
Uh,
be a waste of a person. I'd be a stick in essence. So he's
right.
like, right now, it's your quality of life. By you stopping to do right now what you're doing, you're going to have a little bit of quality of life left. And
Okay.
now that's what my insurance company is trying to take away. They're saying that I am not deserving of that little bit of right to life I have left. And that's what I'm asking, is at what point do we draw the line? You know, at what point can I enjoy my cup of coffee?
Well, I personally don't think that the government should be allowed to have a say in that.
And the insurance company, I feel, should be a little bit more relaxed on that, especially if that's what I pay my premium for. And I say
Well,
adjust the premium to fit what the quality of life is you're willing to pay somebody.
let me ask you a question. Do you
Answer.
think the solution should be healthcare for all?
In my situation, no, because my situation is more employment tied. But I do believe that if we had a healthcare for all, I wouldn't be tied into 10 to 15 minutes with my doctor to try to explain all the things that are wrong. For him to make a decision, it's I need the time I need to discuss my situation and to see what our options are. And he's got the next person to deal with after me, and the next person after them, and so on. And they're pressured into having that. They shouldn't
Right.
have that pressure to deal with. It shouldn't be that way. It's, to my opinion, that's where we get into fast food medicine.
Well, I was thinking, something like socialized medicine where everyone's covered for everything all the time.
Hmm. And your records would be quite available. One doctor in one place would be able to access your records in another to be able to make a proper diagnosis of what's going on with you. Where they have to submit records, and it's not the same. Things get missed. Records weren't kept, and so on.
Now, I understand that. I
You
understand
know,
that. And, I was thinking I wanted to get my records from my doctor, but then I looked and my file is this big. That's just one of
right,
them.
right.
And I'm like,
And I suppose I will say one thing about my insurance company is up until this point they've been fantastic. I don't know if it was to give me a false sense of security, but I really did feel like I could be honest with them and get an honest reply. Like all the things I'm doing now that they're hitting me for, I discussed with them, and now I'm finding out that they're hits. And so,
right.
I guess to say the name out loud, I mean, Hartford Insurance is one of the better companies until now, until this specific point that we're at. And I
Right.
guess that's that. I'd loved them until now.
Until now, huh?
Until now. I think that I can get him to change. I think that I have enough real information and explanation to offer of what they saw or what they think they saw to be what happened. They see me with a backpack. Well, that was a cat. you
Well, you
know?
may be able to get them to change for your specific case,
Right.
but what would it take to get them to change their actual processes, procedures,
Changing
outlooks,
from my
whatever?
case. If they
You
change
think?
from my case, then my continuing push on them is going to be you need to really look at a lot of your other cases too that you fuck people
So,
over on.
so you think it would be like a snowball effect?
I'm hoping so because I'm going to push it that way. Because that's what
Cool.
I did when I failed my DOT drug test and I was being evaluated by professionals. Well, it turned out that they stopped doing it after me. I was the last one to go through the program. I broke their program. So that's probably another story.
Cool.
Same with the counselors that I talked with. I gave them a lot to think about when it came to people that like me.
I get you. I get you.
There's always
You
another
know,
angle.
I've always been one that if I can't make a change for everyone, I don't want to make a change for me because it's not right for everyone else. What
It's a
makes me
start,
so
and
special?
it's a stepping stone. It's an evidence that I put somewhere else so somebody else knows that they can do this too. It doesn't necessarily end with, I won't let it end with me.
Well,
So we could
that's
do, hey, you know what, dude? Let's just follow this a little more. Once I have to wait till I see my doctor. I can't do anything unless he's been with me for 15 years. I don't know why he changed his mind. I've always been honest
well.
with him. So after that appointment, then I can share the next step on what we do after my appeal, and let's see where it goes.
Well, I want to bring up. You know what? I want to have an episode this week
Okay.
about medical treatment and the insurance and medical system.
Sure. I'd be happy to discuss that. We
And I
all have
think
our
if
opinions
everybody,
on that too.
and I would be more than happy to,
Hmm.
put out advertisements and let everybody know when it's going to happen,
Okay.
because it's an important subject that needs to be brought out more into the open. I'll just give you all an idea of what to look forward to on the next show. Do you realize that people that are disabled and have Medicaid are entitled to Medicaid transportation in New York State
Hmm.
to and from their doctors?
I've heard that.
Okay. But
Not here.
not in an emergency basis. If you're sick or you have the flu, you cannot get transportation to see your doctor same day. You have to have a minimum of 3-day notice.
To get
In other words,
transportation for Medicare.
Right. If I get on for Medicaid, if I get on the system right now
Mhm.
and want to book transportation, it'll tell me I cannot get transportation until Friday.
And you need it now. What
If-
about an
let's say,
ambulance? Is it
you
covered?
can get an ambulance at any time. Yeah, it's covered.
Oh, okay.
But that'll take you to a hospital, not to your doctor. Now, if something's wrong with my insulin and it's not
I
working right,
see.
and I
You
have to
need
go
the
see my doctor this week, and it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I may be shit out of luck till next week.
Yeah.
And that's just one example of the messed up medical profession that we have going on today. Sorry, I'm getting, I'm just getting a
News
message from God Himself. Message from God Himself. It says nothing important.
alert.
Just says that Bolsonaro doesn't concede loss to Lula, but
course
allows
not.
transfer.
Oh, but he allows the transfer?
Yep.
Okay, fine, whatever. Trump.
Which, Trump. Yeah, but see, the thing is, Trump. I hate to say this,
Go for
Bolsonaro is a fucking. He's a dictator, basically a dictator, authoritarian.
Yeah.
And so is Trump. Difference is Trump said, "I will not concede." Bolsonaro said, "I will not concede." Bolsonaro said, "But you can go through with the transfer of power."
Right.
Trump said, "Oh no, everyone attack the Capitol quickly."
Yeah. And he didn't have the balls to do it. Because people probably would have. Because they already blocked the city off with trucks and caused traffic jams and things like that in Brazil. Yeah.
I want to go to Brazil, where the women don't wear no tops. That's all I want to go.
Oh, you don't have to go that far. There are a lot of places where they don't do that.
Yeah, but
Especially
they're not as good looking though.
Ah, bullshit. Go to Naples off coast of Italy. Quite nice.
So with that, I think that our next, one of our shows this week will be that whole medical. I think it's important to discuss the trappings of the false trappings of medical insurance, Medicaid, the governmental Medicare, and all that.
Yeah.
There's a lot
And
of
supplementals
misgivings.
too. Yeah.
There's a lot of misgivings that people, assume instead of actually knowing, and it's not all,
And you better take off your rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, it's not all candy and roses.
Yeah.
It's
Like I
it's
do. I
really-
wear them all the time.
it's really disheartening to see what people go through.
Yeah.
Even
Speaking
if they're
from
on one of
experience.
these, even if they're on one of these government programs, you say, well, why don't you just work? Well, some people just can't. And the amount of money that you can get from disability is not anything that needs to be bragged about.
Yeah. Right.
In New York, there's 2 separate tiers. My sister is on the top tier. I'm on the second tier. So my sister,
I declined mine.
being at the top tier of disability,
Mhm.
makes around $1,700 a month.
Oh wow. Well, for me, I had to prove 90%.
What I make is more like, before they take out all their deductibles and Medicare bullshit,
Mhm.
it's about $950.
That's all you get. Jesus. Dude.
Yeah, it's not living glamorous. That's what everybody
No.
says. Well, you're taking your hand out.
And that's
blah,
a
blah, blah.
month.
No.
You
Do you
don't
know how much
know what I make.
you don't want to know how much my medication costs.
My Social Security is 27.
I mean, I've got
I still get 350 from my insurance company.
I've got insulin
That's disgusting, dude.
that I have to buy every month. I get vitamin D.
Well,
Get this.
you also got to remember too. I've got 30 years of working at a topped-out salary with a company. That's why mine's more. That's
My
the
sister
reason
gets
why.
so much in New York State because when she was disabled, when she became disabled,
Mhm.
she was living with my father, who was an Army vet and a New York State government employee.
Mhm.
And so she went under his Social Security number. They calculated her benefits by him. Even though he's passed now, they keeping her at that level.
Good for her. It's fine.
My
I
dad
don't know how
worked for
you're
the-
doing it, dude. How the fuck are you doing it with $950 a month? Is that all you get, or does your son help?
Oh no, my son helps, and plus, New York has this new. Well, here's what happens: they take money out of my check
Mhm.
for Medicare something.
Yeah, I know it's
Right.
not much but still, yeah, they take.
It's
it
like
down.
$150.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but still, yeah.
150. It's like 150, somewhere between 125 and
Your
150.
copay's pretty good.
A month. My copay is it's dirt cheap.
5,
except
10,
for
whatever.
I get this one medication, and believe it or not, vitamin D cost me $35 for I think it's 21 pills.
Would you buy it over the counter? Cheaper
Because
than
I
that?
don't have the extra money. So I
Right, but
have
if you're
to
paying
have
that
it.
much, it's cheaper over the counter. It's cheaper. You get more. My wife's on that.
My normal copay is about $1.20 per prescription. Some of them are $4, but basically I picked up 12 prescriptions the other day and it cost me $18.
Oh, all right. Well, that's
Right?
different.
Which is fine. But here's what happens: they take out $100 and some odd dollars. Plus, I have to have three now. Now I have three insurances. I have Medicare, Medicaid, and Humana. Humana is for my prescriptions. Medicaid is to pick up anything that Medicare won't cover.
Yeah. Right.
And New York State reimburses you partial for what they take out for this Medicare payback or buy down or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
They instead of the whole 125 or 150, they give you like 102. But still, it's something back.
Right.
But it's not. People say, well, you're on disability. I'm paying for you to live. You're not really paying for me to live. You're paying for me to just get by.
Barely. Well, you're going to get a 8.5% raise here coming up, January.
Yeah, which everyone's going to say, oh, that's way too much for you people.
Not enough. Because you are the one that's not getting the benefit of that raise. I am, because I get I'm getting 3 times that you make. Yeah. I'm
Right,
3
but you also
times
have
that you fucking make. Of course, it's going to benefit me more than you.
But you
That's
also have to
disgusting.
understand the way the
Disgusting.
system works.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
designed to fail.
that is you give me the 8.5% increase, and then you take 6.5% back as Medicare buy down.
I don't have that.
So if I get,
I'm going to lose
let's
my
say
mic here in a minute.
let's say my increase is $100.
Mhm.
They'll take $80 for the medical buy, or 95, 90. I think it's $93 for the medical buy down, Medicare buy down. So I'm really only getting $4 or $7, where everyone else is getting $100,
Or more.
increase.
Yeah, I'll get a few $100 from that.
You know how many cost of living increases have come, and if I told you what I'm actually pulling in that state check, you'd be
Yeah,
flabbergasted.
not much because the percentage on a smaller amount is a smaller amount. You
850.
don't get up out of that because we just had another big increase when I started mine. And the only reason why I'm at the amount I'm at is because of another 9% increase that they had. But when you're making less than a couple grand, that's only a little bit of money. It's not much.
Eight
You
fifty.
know,
Eight
this
fifty a
this
month.
this next raise coming out should get you over 1,000 for sure. You should be in $1,000 to $1,100 range at the end of this 8% raise.
Which
You'll
means
get
they'll take
something out of
about
it.
which means they'll take about $200-300 out of for the Medicare buyback.
Well, from what I'm understanding, Medicare, Medicaid are not going to take a hit, so you should get the full benefit of that 8% raise. You should this time around.
Well, you know,
With any luck, I hope so, dude. Yeah,
so
I know we
before
can
we
go
go,
round and round. Yeah.
yeah, before we go, is there anything you'd like to add?
Nah, actually, I think this time around we covered it pretty good. We hit a lot of things. Yeah, pretty
All
good.
right, brother.
You know,
I,
I guess another little sign off to my buddy Warren while I still remember the guy. Thanks, Warren. I appreciate everything, buddy. Miss you.
I celebrated my own way for my friend who passed during for COVID with COVID today.
Oh, dude, today?
No, he passed away, but I celebrated today because
Okay.
I I'm scared. My daughter, who just had a baby, baby's now 14 months old. She has COVID.
I thought she was over that or getting on the
No,
downside of
no,
it.
she has it now.
The mom?
her wife, and her baby had it,
Okay.
but now she's got it from taking care of them.
Oh, and
The
she's
only
not
difference
vaccinated.
is, the only difference is, when this all happened, she was pregnant and couldn't get vaccinated. So now she's unvaccinated and has COVID.
How's she
And
doing?
she said her fever is so bad that she's shaking all the time. And I said, "How are your
Long
lungs?"
COVID's
She's
a
like,
bitch.
well, I asked her how are her lungs, and she said she's got the lungs of an ox, so everything's good. But it worries me. It worries me. I mean,
You're right
you know.
to be worried, my friend. Yeah, man.
Well, anyway, so a shout out to my lovely daughter.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get through this like we do everything else.
I'll shoot her a message if you don't mind. She sent me one, so I'll send her one
So
back.
it's all good, brother.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's wrap this up and pick it up in the AM.
We'll do that. Sounds good to me.
All right.